today we're gonna see what freaking happens. We got a special delivery. I'm talking Secret Service level, Secret Service level security delivery for an experimental pre. It's an unreleased raw version of Thavage, which is kind of that in-between level of essential Thavage, super Thavage, which is really just a gradient of, baseline caffeine, citrulline, beta-alanine, electrolytes, right? Basically the core components of pre. And then on the super Thavage side, just everything you could think of in terms of kind of a pump performance. But really it's just an unreleased flavor. So nothing too wild. But yeah, it feels good to be back in the swing of things. Feels good that it's warm, but it's getting a little too warm. Maybe I'm just being a brat. But now that I'm eating more food, and not even like an insane amount of food, but just a decent amount of food, I'm just sweating. 75 degrees is now uncomfortably warm. At least, to be relatively normally clothed. So I'm going to be rocking a lot of the lighter Gymshark clothes. Which, speaking of today, just started the mid-season sale, so I would check that out. I'm not sure how much this shirt specifically is discounted, because it's not like everything is 50% off, but it's like specific pieces and gradients or so. So if you look, you can probably find a couple of steals. Like there was a few shirts where, at least during the Black Friday sale, they were like $8 each when you combine like a code and a percentage off. But yeah, I don't want to. It's like I want to sweat, but I want to sweat when I'm working out. So if I'm just going about my day, I don't want lines on my back because I was sitting down. I just watched Project Hail Mary, which was super good. That one was freaking solid. I'm talking up in if not S tier, at least right up there next to it in terms of movies as of late. But at the theater, the theater seats were leather, and they weren't like leather with perforations, so there's a little bit of airflow. So I stand up at the end of the movie, and this thing's like I don't remember, it might have been like 2.5 hours long, even 2 or so. But I stand up, I just drank like 2 Diet Cokes, like the larger ones, so straight to the bathroom, and I'm just drenched. My whole backside just sweating down my shirt. Would I have sweat if I was wearing like a really lighter? Because this is just like a regular cotton tee, so maybe I wouldn't have been sweating so much if I had these guys on. But either way, worth a look, worth a freaking look. But yeah, so plan for today is going to be some chest, and maybe a little something else. Maybe I'll throw some calves in the mix too. It's going to be chest and something. I'm gonna add a little something in. But today is the day after that leg workout yesterday, and that was a good quad session. Like I went harder in that quad session than the previous one, and I'm not as sore today. So what that tells me is I'm starting to adapt. I'm starting to get used to that heftier training. Like they're still sore. Even just squeezing my right quad now, it's tender. Like it's not. My quads are not ready to be worked for a little bit. But that workout had. Let me try to remember. So 2 sets of leg extensions to start. 2 leg extensions, 2 hack squats, 1 set to failure, and then 3 hip press sets, which were pretty close to failure, but that's kind of a trickier movement because you can kind of sneak some partials with your hands when you push on your quads. But that workout had 5 sets of heavy pressing, at least heavy for me relative to what my current strength level is. And the last workout which completely destroyed my quads, only had one. So just in that process of one lift to the next, since I've been used to just light squeezing quad work for this prep, now that I can actually start working my quads again, let's just say their ability to handle getting whooped is going to continue to increase. So I want to see that with my chest as well. I'm not sure what I want to start with, but I want to push it today, that's for sure. And I think I've been saying for sure a lot. I'm going to try to stop saying that. And when I edit these videos together, I don't watch the whole thing back. I don't listen to myself back for an hour. But yeah, I feel like I keep saying that. I don't know, it's not a tick, but you get what I'm saying. Just like a weird little speech pattern. But I'm going to warm up, get my rotator cuffs going, get my forearms warmed up so that whatever, handle I'm holding on to, I'm very sturdy with it. If my forearms are, they're never weak, but if you got underdeveloped forearms, I think it can take away from your ability to really press, at least if you're, talking free weights, because that's your direct connection to the bar or the barbell, the dumbbell, the whatever. So if that starts to go, right, not ideal. So everything that is going to come into play with pressing, I'm going to get warm, and then I'll decide what to do first. I would love to thrash or to throw around some 150s, but I think it's probably a little too soon to go that wild. But I'll see. I gotta warm up first. Maybe I warm up shoulders, back, chest, arms, forearms, everything, and then I say, all right, let's grab the hundreds and then the 110s and 120s and whatever along those lines. But no matter what I end up doing, I wanna push it. I wanna do a legit heavy set, 12-ish reps to failure, and we'll just kind of go from there. What I don't want to do is fillet my pec tendons off the bone. That's absolutely the last thing I want. So those are these two conflicting ideas that I need to balance my training with right now, because I'm trying to get my strength back so I can continue to do heavier, or not even all sets heavier, but heavier working sets, right, to progressively overload into this off season, and kind of I feel like I'm a cold started engine right now, right? I'm ticking, but I gotta get things sort of warmed up first. So I want to go heavy enough that I'm actually giving myself something to recover from and then come back stronger from, but not so much, and not get so excited about it that I go too heavy, and then we all know what happens after that. So I'm going to balance those two and stay right in the sweet spot in the middle. Solidly heavy, solid intensity. The intensity is always solid, and then just not tweak anything. So I'll have to kind of wait to be inspired by the warm-up and see what movements speak to me to start with. Because I could really see starting with anything. I could see incline Smith. I could see maybe lighter incline dumbbell. I could see just heavy cable press, maybe machine press or so. And they would all be good because they'd all be, heavy presses. I'll just have to see which one calls my name as I'm warming up. And not even so silly as that, but just which one seems like it'll be the best. But yeah, I think nothing else to say, so let's get freaking started. Obviously I started with my normal warm-up, but I grabbed the 75s, felt like nothing, grabbed the 100s, solid, 115s. I tried 2 reps with 130s. Nah, I gotta save dumbbells for later, which kind of sucks because I was getting myself amped up for dumbbells. But let's just start with cable. It'll still be a crazy lift, just less free weights than normal. We're getting there. Come on. Two. Yeah. Whew. Ta. Two. Yeah. Two. Two. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Whew. One more of those. Yeah. Ooh. Huh. Two. Ooh. Yeah. Poof. Yeah. Okay. Okay. One more. Then we'll move on to something else. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. All right. Let's do something else. Here is the freaking plan. So full stack on this pec deck, which is, let's just say a feasible amount of weight. And I'm gonna do as many as I can with like, really, I'm gonna get to the point where I can't physically hold or get a complete rep done at all. And once I've reached that level of fatigue, then I'll burn out with partials. But I really wanna like be dying to get my hands together. That's sort of my my cue in my mind. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. 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 Ooh. Two. Two. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's do a cable fly, and then we'll see what's a finish with. This will be a little light squeezing, burning centric. I might burn out with hand over hand press, though. We'll see. Yeah. Two. Yeah. one more, but done in a slightly different way. You'll see. This is going to be a bit more pumpish than light squeezing. So instead of this sort of decline style fly, top bottom, I'm just going to bend over and do more in front of body flies. And I'm going to try to pull in with my pinky so I can work more upper chest instead of lower. Yeah. Okay. All right, yeah. I think that's it. Let's find some lighting. All right, yeah, there we go. So, what was that? Was that 3 cable pressed or 2 in the beginning? I don't freaking remember. Either way, that was good. And that was a solid finisher, kind of 2 sets of like combos of flies into pressing. And I think that that's a pretty solid intensifier. You know, and speaking of intensifiers, every set doesn't need to have one. It doesn't hurt, but every set doesn't have to have an extra something or other going on to make it more serious. Like, I think a solid ratio is probably like an 80-20. 80% straight sets, failure, heavyweight, partials, that's the end of it. And then an extra 20%, a little extra something, you know, maybe a drop set, maybe a super set. I'm really excited to get back to full strength because I'm going to bust out some incline dumbbell to failure. Like, I've done this before and I really liked it. I kind of was hoping I could do it today. But heavy dumbbell incline to failure. So, you know, 150s for, I don't know, fucking 15 or something. And then immediately slam the weights on the floor and then run over here and do some cable press as like a lighter burnout. That combo, well, once that returns, we'll really be cooking. But let's see how we're looking pumped. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The most muscular giving you a little bit of lightheadedness. That is a solid sign. But plan now, before I go home and get some cardio done, is to camp out on the hip press and just do some single leg calf raises until my calves are near jelly-like. Because I want some calf growth. So next arm day, I'm going to make sure to remember the measuring tape, and I'll get some baseline measurements of arms unpumped, pumped, and calves unpumped and pumped. I want to see those numbers go up. But let's get in the car. There we go. And just like that, my day got a little bit brighter. Just like that, my day got a little bit glitzier, you know, in a very pumped sort of way. But yeah, plan now is to go home, get some freaking food into my system. What will that food be? I gotta think about it. A little bit. I think a grocery trip is long overdue. Either today or tomorrow, we'll get in there and do a little haul. Carb-wise is where things get interesting and a little bit more fun. Proteins are still basic. It doesn't really change dieting to bulking. You should still be getting your solid protein sources in regardless. And even the amount, I could see maybe trying to push protein a little bit higher in a dieting phase, but a gram per pound of body weight, it's kind of the sweet spot, you know. So I'm still just going to be doing my 250 of ground beef and eggs, and maybe some fish and sushi and turkey. Yeah, turkey's the freaking best. Especially you got to go to Costco and they've got these huge vacuum sealed like 5-pound bricks of turkey breast, and it's not just like this mincemeat like a deli turkey. Like, this is just straight bird. So you slice off 8 ounces, boom, 50 grams of protein, super lean. I mean, there's no chance there's over 3 grams of fat in each piece. That's pretty solid because it's just freaking ready for you at your freaking disposal. All you got to do is slice off your desired amount. And if you do it for long enough, you start to get a good, you start to get in the groove of cutting off exactly the size that you want. I still end up weighing it just because I want to know, but I get pretty accurate. Even within like 0.1 ounce, where I can do a slice, I'm aiming for 8 ounces, slap it on the scale, or on the plate that's zeroed out on the scale, boom, 7.9, right? 8.3, 8.2, 8.0, perfect. Very nice. So the proteins are very consistent, but carb-wise, let me think. I can expand a little bit further than rice cakes, but in terms of rice cakes, well, I've got all the flavored versions now. I'm not scrapping with just the lightly salted ones. I can actually go for some of the caramel and the apple, and the chocolate ones are really the craziest. Honestly, those are just a freaking treat. Tortillas, straight rice, cream of rice. It's been a long time since I've had any cream of wheat as well. We kind of go back and forth between the two. Haven't had any cereal in the house for a while. I'm not going to eat just freaking Cinnamon Toast Crunch is my primary carb source, but within reason, a little bowl of a little 100 gram of carb bowl plus 2 cups of lowish fat milk, 2%. I don't even mind skim, honestly, just because what's the point of 8 grams of fats in a bowl like that? So that is like a pre or a post workout kind of sugary sort of carb focused meal, or portion of a meal. That's still within reason. Oh my gosh. You know what I just remember? I just thought about eating a bagel with a bunch of cream cheese. Okay, I think I know what the post-workout meal is gonna at least be partly composed by. Yeah, that's gonna be good. I haven't slammed that for, oh my gosh. This is the longest I've gone without having, eaten all this sort of stuff. I haven't had Cane's for 6 months. I'm not gonna have it today, but it's on the horizon. It's on the freaking horizon. But yeah, nothing else to say. I'm gonna get some food, refuel, do my 30 minutes of cardio. I might even do a little bit extra. Maybe go for 40 minutes, be a little crazy, and then get ready for back tomorrow. So that's pretty much all I freaking got. And I will see you then.